Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you a few tricks for solving the system of equations questions that will show up on your star. Now, if you think back to when we did the systems unit, we learned how to solve these with substitution, graphing, or elimination. But I'm going to show you some other tricks. Okay, this first one, it's going to be kind of difficult. You're going to have to write the system first. So a college student completed some courses worth 3 credits and some courses worth 4. So I'm going to call the ones worth 3x and the ones worth 4y. And the students earned a total of 59 credits after completing 18 courses. So that means x plus y is 18. There were 18 total courses. And then the total credits would be 3 credits times the number of x's plus 4 credits times the number of y's for a total of 59 credits. Now, if you're not able to write this system, then it's going to be very difficult to solve. Alright, now obviously it's set up really well for elimination, so of course go ahead and do elimination if you want. But we did talk about with graphing that we can always use our calculator to solve a system with graphing. So I just want to go over that method. And remember, for that method you have to solve each equation for y. So we've got x plus y equals 18. I'm just going to subtract x from both sides and I get y equals negative x plus 18. And then I'm going to solve this other one, 3x plus 4y equals 59. I'm going to start by subtracting 3 x's from both sides. And I've got 4y equals negative 3x plus 59. And then I'm just going to divide everything by 4. Now, when we were doing it, I had you divide each term by 4. But because we're going to be putting this into our calculator, I can actually just leave it as negative 3x plus 59 all over 4. And that'll work as well. So remember, with the calculator, we're going to go to our y equals, and we're going to put negative x plus 18 in y1, and I'll put a fraction, negative 3x plus 59 all over 4 in y2. And we'll hit graph, and remember, I want to be able to see the intersection. So you can see that I cannot see the intersection here, so I'm going to zoom out. It looks like it's going to be right here. So I'm just going to zoom out one time and I should be able to see the intersection. Alright, so we can see the intersection. It's right here. And so remember, the steps are going to be put your equations into y1 and y2. Graph. To see the intersection, and then second, trace, 5, enter, enter, enter. So enter 3 times. So I'm going to take my calculator, I'm going to do that second, trace, 5, enter, enter, enter. And I get my solution is at 13.5. Now remember, 13 was my x and 5 was my y. It says how many courses are worth 3 credits, which was my x, so the answer is 13. And notice they do put that other answer there, so they are trying to trick you by putting the other answer there. Not necessarily trick you, but make sure you know which one is which. Alright, so on that one's pretty difficult. There's not a lot of tricks for the calculator, but I wanted to go over that one just to refresh your memory. That solving with graphing, the calculator will always do it for you as long as you get both equations in y equals. Now on this next one, it says a system of equations is graphed, okay, and which system does this graph represent? So there's a couple of different ways that you can go about this, but you obviously could just go to each answer choice and graph the two. Now you do want to set your window to look like theirs, so it looks like this window is going from negative 8 to 8, and negative 8 to 8. And then you could just go to y1 and do negative x minus 4 and 2x minus 2 and hit graph. And we can see that's not it, right? It's supposed to be intersecting up here, so it's not that one. So then I'm going to go to the second one and put in, so it's negative x plus 4 and 2x minus 4. And this one doesn't look right either. That intersection's in quadrant 1, but we need the intersection in quadrant 2. So I'll go to the next one, y equals x minus 4 and negative 2x minus 2. And it looks like this one might be the winner, so I'll circle it, but we'll double check with the last one just to make sure. X plus 4 and negative 2x minus 4. And this one looks pretty close as well, right? So here's where I need to be able to check the difference. And if you look, remember it's y equals mx plus b. So for this equation and this equation, the y-intercepts are at positive 4 and negative 4. Oh, and I think I had that typed in wrong with a minus, so that one's not it. So it's hitting at positive 4 and negative 4, which are these two y-intercepts, so we know that our answer choice is J. So I had actually typed H in wrong, so that's also another reason why it's super important to always check all of your answer choices. All right, here's another one. What is the value of x in the solution to the system? Notice they're not giving you an x and a y, so you can't just plug it in. So once again, we're going to go back to that first thing that we went over, which is solve for y in both of them. This one's already solved for y. So 3x minus 5y equals 22. I'm going to start by subtracting 3 x's. So negative 5y equals negative 3x plus 22. And then divide everything by negative 5. And once again, I used to make you go divide each thing by that, but since I'm plugging it into the calculator, I'm literally going to leave it like that and type it into the calculator exactly like that. So in y1, I'm going to put the one they gave me, negative 5x plus 32. And in y2, I'll start with a fraction, negative 3x plus 22 all over negative 5. And since I'm using my calculator, there's no need for me to reduce that into different fractions. So step 1 is put them into y1, y2. Step 2 is to make sure you can see the intersection, and I'm looking and seeing that I can. So then step 3 is second trace 5, second trace 5, enter. And I get 6.5 negative 1/2. All right, and it says what is the value of x? So once again, negative 1/2 is choice D, so they're kind of trying to distract you because that's the y. And so 6.5 is the x. And notice the other answer choices are close. They're going to want to make sure that you can identify that. All right, which graph best represents the system of equations? Once again, we have to be able to solve for y. So 8x minus 4y equals negative 16. I'll start by subtracting 8 x's, and I get negative 4y equals negative 8x minus 16, and divide everything by negative 4. Now, once again, normally I would have you divide this out and say it's 2x plus 8, but because I'm using a calculator, we don't even have to do that. All right, we can just put in a fraction and literally type negative 8x minus 16 over negative 4. And then we'll go do the other one as well. So 3x plus 15y equals negative 6. So we always start by subtracting the x's. And then dividing to get y by itself. Once again, I'm just going to plug it in exactly like that. So I'm going to start with a fraction and do negative 3x minus 6 all over 15, no need to reduce. And I'm going to hit graph, and I should be able to tell which one of these graphs looks the same. So I definitely have one intersecting up here, so it looks like it's going to be B. It's definitely not A or C. And then the graph that looks like it matches is B. Okay? And one more. So a customer at a store paid $64 for 3 large candles and 4 small candles. So we've got L and S. So 3L plus 4S equals $64. And at the same store, a customer paid $4 more than the first customer for 1 large candle and 8 small candles. And if they paid $4 more, they paid $68. Okay? Now, it says which system is a match. Now, obviously, in this situation, the calculator really can't help you at all. Notice that they did say the large candle is X, so everywhere that I see the L, it's going to be an X in my system, and then this would be a Y. And then I just look for it. So 3X plus 4Y equals 64, and X plus 8Y equals 68. So the calculator really can't help me there. I just have to be able to identify. So this was just a quick refresher on systems of equations. The calculator can help you if you solve for Y, but you do have to be able to solve for Y first.